This video is to show you how to use the body measurement. We do so by having a wall measurement guide with a laser guide that'll keep the measurements consistent from customer to customer and from coach to coach, because you all have a tendency to measure in different places. This will eliminate this spot. Now, I've already placed this on the second measurement, which is the shoulder. We don't need the laser for the neck, and you'll see that it's at 4 feet 2 1/4 inches. If you follow it over on the subject, you'll see that there'll be a red line here on the clothing area, and that will be your guide to do the measurement. When using the tape, you'll want to put your thumb about 1.5 inches onto the tape and ask the patient to press at the end of your thumb onto their body. That will give you a little tab to grab onto to eliminate touching the subject in some sensitive areas when you go to measure them. So if you'll hold that and do a spin for me, you can notice that you have the laser to guide you all the way through, and it comes back around, and then I have my tab right here to grab, and this tape is such that you get to make sure your measurement is in its proper place, that no slippage sliding up has happened. I like to hold the shoulder at the other end of my finger so that as you make it taut, it won't slide up. You take the measurement, and there you have. Then you record it on the software that's provided with your computer. You perform the same test on the chest area. You just loosen the tab, lower it down to the chest. Or on a woman, it'd be the center of the breast. That's how you can keep it consistent from client to client. So the center of the breast, an example would be the top of the breast here, the bottom of the breast right directly in the center, and you can see the line. This is especially helpful to use the tab method. I like to measure right in the center of the breast, because by the time you spin around, you don't want to be measuring underneath the armpit and then have it be uncomfortable. So I ask them to hold it right there, and then, hold it right there, and then arm up as they spin. I like to do a little joke. This is our weekly WEO dance. And as you can see, there's a little tab for me just to simply grab. I don't have to touch the breast, and they put their arm back down. And the way this tape works, that's very nice, to keep the tension the same from week to week, is that you hold it with one finger on this tab so it doesn't slip off. And this little button on the top, if you continue to push it, as you're tightening the tape, when it first starts to slip, that's when you know that that's the measurement. So that gave me a measurement of 34 3/8. That will keep it consistent from measurement to measurement and from coach to coach. You want to be careful when you are retracting this to hold your hand in it and hit this tab like this. If not, it'll snap around and it can hit you or it can hit your patient, and neither one of them feel good. The next measurement is for the thorax, and that is identified on the body by simply feeling the bottom rib directly underneath the armpit. So draw an imaginary line underneath the armpit down to the bottom rib. Remember, you'll only have to do this one time as you record these measurements on the file, and then you ask the patient, you just draw a straight line out, ask the patient to hold their finger right there, please. And then when you come around to do the measurement, you simply just locate her finger and to get a precise measurement. Then you continue the same measurement as we outlined before, having the client hold. You can let go of that spot there, and then rotate. You can follow the line all the way around the body to make sure that it doesn't go up and down. Grabbing the tab, and sometimes all you have to do, if it's too far over to the side, you want it more to the front, you just grab the back of the tape over here and help spin it around keeping it level. If you're a little concerned if the back has slipped up, you just have the patient turn around. You can see, oh, I need to do a little slightly an adjustment. If they do have wrinkly clothes, go ahead and just say, I'm gonna pull your clothing down a little bit there, and to get rid of any bunching of fabric, and then you can get your measurement back to where you want it. Using the same method, holding it with your finger and tapping it as you're bunching it until the tape starts to slip. When it starts to slip, that's your measurement, and you record it onto the software. A little trick I use to get that off is that you can pop it with your finger here, or you just tip the tape and it'll pop right out. Remember to not retract the tape all at one time. The next area is the belly button. So ask the patient, please locate your belly button. They find it, and then you just locate it as we did before on the laser. And there's her measurement right there, and then we record it. The next measurement is on her hips, and the way that you do that is because we have bunching of clothing again, I just will either lift it up. If they have low-riding pants, then of course I'll pour the garment down to eliminate the bunching, right? So the hip is measured by having them turn sideways to the laser, and you want to do the same as the breast. Top of the buttock, bottom of the buttock. So in this case, where the buttock meets the top of the thigh, right there is the bottom. You want to do the center of the cheek, and there's the line. You ask the patient to just mark that for you. Sometimes you just have them, you can guide their finger, since they're likely not to see the mark. Because of its location, there's where I want to measure it, and that's how you get the hip area or the buttock, okay? And we have these for each of the thorax, the belly button, the waist, the buttock, and now we're going to do the thigh. The thigh, I'm just going to pre-measure it down here, and because we have a nice long shirt here, we're going to pull this back up, turn her back around the face of the laser. If she happens to be standing close together like this, instead of using the words, please spread your legs, it just sounds awkward, ask them to straddle it a little bit more. Everyone seems to know what that means, and if you want a little bit more space, you say, get her straddle a little farther. That is a nice way to get them to give you more room to work with. Where you want to get is that fat that'll accumulate right at the top of the thigh, which is generally right in this area. Now this patient doesn't seem to have that, but that's where it'll be sitting. So that's the mark where you want it to be. That you can just eyeball from the measure. You don't have to have them hold it with their fingers. So you can see I can just move it up